Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and in this video I will be showing you the best ways to use Stage Manager and the windowing system, and really mainly showing you guys how some of the features work. I'm going to go over all the things you need to know about Stage Manager, but before I do that, I'm going to talk about supported devices. Prior to iPadOS 26, if you wanted to use Stage Manager, the iPads you would need were pretty specific. You would need, at first, an M1 iPad, either a Pro or Air or later. But later with iPadOS 16.1, you needed a iPad Pro 3rd generation that was the A12Z or A12X chip or later. Beyond those iPads, no other iPad could run it. Not even the iPad Air 4th generation from 2020, which had the same dimensions as the iPad Pro 3rd generation from 2018. Well, now with iPadOS 26, all iPads, no matter which one it is, will run the feature perfectly. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use it, some of the best ways to use it. So let's get right into this. So the first thing you obviously want to do is, say if you just set up your iPad for the very first time, you went through the initial setup processes. Once you typically go through the initial setup process, you select different things for setting up Apple Pay and all those things. You're going to then come to a screen that looks like, under multitasking and gestures, or you might see it within the iPad setup, you're going to come to a screen that looks like this. And it's going to ask you, how do you prefer your apps? It will ask you if you like your apps in full screen, which I have here. It will also ask you if you like to use the windowing system, or it will even ask you if you like Stage Manager. Now, I'm going to show you guys how this works, but if your iPad is pretty set up, basically, I'm going to show you how to use it from the very beginning. So you would want to take advantage of the new windowing system. This is all new here in iPadOS 26. Not only that, you even have a control for it within the control center. If we long press on the control, we have two options here. We have the windowing system and we have Stage Manager, which it puts this shelf here next to any window I have open, which is a really nice feature in iPadOS 26. But we're going to go to the windowing system as I'm going to show you guys what you can do with it. So if you want to know how to flick a window, you want to grab an app from the top left, or the top center of the app. And you want to just drag it to either the right or left side of the window. And you pretty much can do this with any app. So if I grab X or Twitter, you can see there. If I grab an app such as Calendars here, sometimes it automatically does it. But then we're just going to flick this one to the right here. Now, as you can see here, I have both of my apps, Settings and Calendars, flicked to the right and left. We can use this little line here to use, and you can see it's lagging quite a little bit here, but you can use this here to flick any app window here. And if you want to flick it back to the center, you just take your finger on the top of the app and swipe it back to where it was. Let's try that again here. And that's pretty much how you would do it. Sometimes it doesn't flick perfectly here. And now we have another feature that I want to mention, Stage Manager. Now, this will let you go between, say if you had photos or Arc Search, and it pulls up my keyboard, and even YouTube, and I have YouTube full screen, you can use those features. But back in the windowing system here, Say if I want to open up two apps. So now we have calendars open here. And I can go into photos here. And we can go into mail. Now, there is a limitation I want to show you guys. You guys see how I can scroll up with my settings menu here? I can scroll up like that. I have 4 apps open. Now, if I open up X or Twitter, and we go to, let's go over to Hawkins Tech here. As you can see, settings is now displayed. It's now faded in the background. I just closed X or Twitter. You can see I can scroll up, but if I bring it back, you can see that settings is displayed, or it's sort of blurry in the background. There is a specific reason why Apple does that. That is because on older iPads like this one, the iPad Air 4th generation, it has the A14 chip and 4 gigs of RAM. And because it has 4 gigs of RAM, you can only have up to 4 apps open within the windowing system. As you see, I tried to open a 5th. It blurred out settings in the background. So that is a move that Apple made to keep apps running smoothly and not give you any performance delays or performance problems with older hardware. So that is how you use that specific feature. If I just close these apps here. Now, another feature I want to mention is you have a menu bar here. Now, this is very much like Mac OS. So if I go into Photos, for example, and you can see we can click on a menu bar. And this is a lot like Mac OS. So you have a hidden menu bar. And if you want to know how to access the menu bar, this is how you do it. You want to swipe down slightly, just enough till you see it. You don't want to swipe down too much. But if you swipe down, you will access the menu bar. And to see your notifications, you just swipe down like this. So swipe down to see the menu bar, swipe and keep holding till you get to notifications. Now, if you try to swipe and hold, you're only going to pull up the menu bar. So you got to swipe again to get to your notifications there. Now, another feature I found, if you long press on the traffic light buttons, you have about, I'd say, 8 individual options. You can put it to the left. You can center the window to the right. Put it on the top, on the bottom. You can make it full screen. Swipe it to the left. But keep it in full screen so it's somewhat similar. It's somewhat similar to the very first one. You can make it even smaller. And you can make it even more tinier. So you do have some great features. And there is another feature called Enter Slide Over. But you see it doesn't work for both apps in that view. But here is how you do work it. So you want to flick this window to the left here. Let's just close out of this for now. And you see we can drag apps. As you can see, I just enabled slide over. And as you can see, it's working phenomenally great. So it works pretty good here. Now with the windowing system or stage manager, you basically get the feature that you've been missing out. A lot of people who've been missing out on this feature due to them not having a supported iPad, they finally get the feature on all of their devices. And you can customize it pretty great. So you can be within the Craft app here. If I go into some iOS 27 documents here, say I have Craft open, and then maybe y'all want to send out an email to someone, or look at an email rather. I can work on Craft documents and look up news of iOS 27, or keep up to date with 26.3 while sending an email over here. So that's the best way to use the windowing system. You really want to take advantage of the fact that you can have multiple app windows, and it really mimics Mac OS. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.